understand. We got to take it all back again.
These people are not going to take it any longer. We will never give up. We will never concede. Our country has had enough. We will not take it anymore. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. But go home and go home in peace. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. You do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay.
What is up, everybody? Welcome. What's up, Gerald? Gerald first here. Oh man, my hair's all messed up. Sorry, guys. How you doing, Gerald? I'm doing pretty good. So today we went and did our first workout, which was walking. And we've walked so much. Like before the summer, before it got real hot, we were walking, I would say at least 3 miles every single day, but a lot of the times it was 4 to 5 miles, and there was one time that we did 7. The one that was 7 sucked. But I mean, I'm used to being out there walking for hours. We got in there, we're walking on the treadmill. In about 20 minutes in, I'm like, can we just do a half an hour? Either it's really different on a treadmill, or the last few months of not walking around for 5 miles or so has really affected us, so that sucks. But at the same time, it's not bad because we're getting back into it. We figured it out. I mean, we were thinking about before everything that happened. We were talking about doing some, getting back into shape and stuff, and especially with the summer here, and it's just too darn hot to go outside and walk in 115-degree heat. So we were already talking about that, and then we got thrown a curveball, so that had to be put on the side for quite a while. But now that we're kind of back, that it's back in the swing of things, and was going to hire a personal trainer to do a whole bunch of stuff, but I think we're going to wait on that because I'm saving up for some stuff from, well, not from him personally, but Guns Coast to Coast is going to help me out. Look for some equipment that might help me out later on, or right away, who knows. But I'm hoping to hear back from him. Oh, I haven't checked my email on that today. He might have already emailed me. You doing great, Gerald? Right on. We got a few lurkers. That's all good. Okay. Other than that, just been preserving, canning, using the sous vide. We sous vide a steak last night, and then today for dinner we're gonna do the sear on it. So if you didn't know, sous vide is really cool. I wish they'd come up with an easier name for it or whatever, but it's basically cooking under vacuum. You put it in hot water at a certain temperature, and it's a circulator, and it's like a specialized equipment. You can get it for like $30 or more. We spent like hundreds of dollars on ours, but it's pretty nice. In fact, I found out that that thing goes up pretty high in temp, over 190. So we canned some sauerkraut before we got the sous vide machine, and we did it under low temp canning because you don't want to cook it too much. It's already cooked enough to where the lactose bacteria is already killed, unfortunately. But I also don't want it to be, I still want it to be crunchy sauerkraut. So we cooked it at the low heat method. If you don't know that, if you're not into canning, you won't understand that. But that's a way of cooking it between or canning it. You do it at 180 to 185 for I think it was 15 minutes. I'm not exactly sure. But we were sitting there with a pot of water and a turkey thermometer or whatever in the water for a long time. You got to make sure it doesn't fall below 180, and you don't want to go over 185 because you don't want to cook it. But the sous vide can hit that temperature and hold it. It's an amazing device. So we're looking forward to the next time that we have to low heat can anything. Pickles comes to mind. If you've ever had homemade canned pickles, I have struggled and struggled to find a decent recipe, and I found a combination of two recipes for making my own pickles, and it worked. And then I forgot the videos that I watched because I didn't make a video of my own, so I lost that. However, I found another person's video that just came out recently that looks like they know what they're doing. So we're going to try it again, and the low heat method should be a lot of fun. All right, cool. That is a whole bunch of personal shit I don't know if you're into or not, but if you made it this far, thank you very much for continuing, and don't forget to hit that like button before before we get any further. Maybe even for a regular water bath, get up to 212. I don't know if it get to 212. That'd be interesting. I haven't seen how hot it can get. All right. Oh yeah, I don't think I did this. Hold up. There we go. Dems ramp up lockdown talk anew despite herd immunity benchmark. Okay. Yeah, they're doing another Patriot Act, right? How's it going, Armed Archangel? We're just talking about canning and sous vide because you can actually use a sous vide machine to help you can. And if it gets up to 212, which I'm not exactly sure if it does, then we can do that too. Check this out though. Oops, sorry. This is the box that it came in. Apparently, I think I'm supposed to store it in this box because it's like a magnetic box that has a specialized cutout for it and everything, which is kind of neat. I don't know. I just thought I'd show you that. And I dropped a whole bunch of things out of it when I did that. Or whatever. Hey, Broken Patriot. Chilling? Nice. On a Monday? Even better. How was your guys' weekend? My weekend wasn't too bad. We watched a new movie. Of course, if you know, Saturday night is movie night with our neighbor. And we try to watch a different movie well, of course we watch a different movie. Well, there was the one time we watched The Matrix more than once. I'm going off on tangents, but forget what the name of the movie was we watched, Riddle. You remember? I don't remember. It was a good one, but not good enough, I guess. All right. The U.S. on Monday finally reached President Joe Biden's goal of getting at least one sniffle shot into 70% of American adults. A month late, amid a fierce surge by the Delta variant that is leading to new mask rules and mandatory shots around the country. Yeah, there's been some words. Like, people are talking about locking people up. Today was part of my weekend. Right on. Well, yeah, I guess it depends on what job you have, what your weekend is. That's like every 9 to 5 I ever, well, wasn't, I never even had a 9 to 5. What the hell am I talking about? Every job that I've ever had was definitely not 9 to 5, and it was not the weekends that I got. One of my best jobs that I ever had financially was working for Motorola. I was in a temp agency because, at least at the time, the only way to get into electronic assembly, which is what I was into, the only way you could get into that is if you went through a temp agency, right? And so I got this job through the temp agency at Motorola here in the Valley and worked there. They worked you 4 hours I'm sorry, not 4 hours, 4 days a week. 4 days a week. So I got a 3 day weekend, right? 12-hour nights, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. I think I was making $11 or close to $11 an hour. And that was back in the late 90s. So, I mean, that was pretty good money for me anyway. And it was standing on my feet though for 12 hours. And back then, I mean, I wasn't at my highest. I still hadn't gotten up that high, but I was bigger than I am right now. And standing on my feet for 12 hours doing the same damn thing in the same damn spot got real freaking old, real freaking quick. I loved the 3 day weekend. That was amazing. But basically when I'd get off work, I'd have to go home, obviously. And that took me about 45 minutes to drive home. I'd basically take a shower, get something to eat, and then pretty much had to go to bed because as soon as I woke up, I had to get ready and go to it again. I hated 12-hour days. Those are the worst, especially with the driving, 45 minutes. And anyway, I didn't last very long at that job, but it paid well. 12 hours, yeah. And the 3 day weekend. Here's the thing. I was making decent money, as I said, for me anyway. And the 3 day weekend, I believe, was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Ain't nothing going on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Like, I finally had money, but I couldn't go to a concert. I couldn't go to a show. I couldn't do almost anything because everything was always scheduled on the weekend when I was working, and at night when I was working. Right, so I couldn't even say, well, I'm not gonna get any sleep tonight. I'll just go. No, because you're working during the night when everything's going on. All right, another tangent. Today's gonna be Monday tangent. Tangent Monday. There you go. The White House reportedly had been drafting a solemn speech during which Biden would announce another round of draconian lockdowns, even though the sniffles threat appears to be far less lethal than it once was. The 70%, and that's amazing to me. They said 49%. Is it 40? I believe it's 49% of all Americans have gotten both or all of their sniffle shots, but 70% has gotten at least one. So that's math. 20%. 20% decided, nope, I don't want my second one. Thank you. Excuse me. The 70% shot rate was once touted to be the magic number for herd immunity, meaning that point at which the sniffles would cease to have its pandemic potency and fade into the background as less than lethal threat. But Democrats have yet again moved the goalposts in order to exert more control over the public, with the Biden administration facing greater economic disasters, skyrocketing crime and immigration, and a slew of other problems. Nonetheless, reports about the shotted people, including U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham. Yeah, we have another story about this. Lindsey Graham, who has gotten his shots, has tested positive despite having received the sniffle shot. We're sure to raise the... Yeah, okay, let me read this again. Testing positive despite having received the sniffle shot, we're sure to raise the alarm bells, giving Democrats the justification they need for an unprecedented assault on civil liberties. In a major retreat in the Deep South, Louisiana ordered nearly everyone, shotted or not, to wear a mask again in all indoor public settings, including schools and colleges. In other cities and states likewise moved to reinstate precautions to counter another crisis. How many people are going to do it? I don't know. I don't really pay attention to even the local news that often. If I see a local story, I'll read it. But I have no idea if we have a mask mandate here in Arizona. I don't think we do, because I don't see anybody wear. I mean, I see a few people here and there wearing them, but other than the signs that say as long as you got all your shots, you don't have to wear your mask at some of the stores. Nobody's. How many people are going to do it? Either you believe in masks and you still wear it without a mandate, or at this point you got to be like, screw this shit, man. I've gone through all this stuff. I've either had the sniffles or I got the sniffle shot. So what the hell? I'm not going to do that no more. At some point, people are going to get really tired of this shit. It is unclear how many of the new cases may involve illegal immigrants who the Biden administration has stealthily shipped into the various parts of the country under the cover of night, despite little evidence that they had been shotted or screened even for the sniffles. There was no celebration at the White House on Monday, a setting of the new target, nor a setting of a new target, as the administration instead struggles to overcome skepticism and outright honest hostility to the shot. Are you surprised? I'm not surprised at all. You've got, take away the 20% that got at least one of those shots, you've got 30% at least hardcore, never gonna get it. Never gonna do it. Like, don't even try. All right? Let's see. Yeah. Instead, struggles to overcome skepticism and outright hostility to the sniffle shot, especially in the South and other rural and conservative areas. Much of that is due to the divisive and insulting rhetoric from the administration itself. How about here's a good one. Why do they block dissenting opinions on YouTube, on Google, on Facebook? Why is it so dangerous that anybody else have an opinion, especially those that are in the medical field that have backgrounds in this kind of thing? Why can't we hear what they think? That right there turns a lot of people off. You can't even say the words here on YouTube or you're going to get some sort of demonization on your video. Let alone if you talk about not getting the sniffle shot. I've gotten at least 2 on medical misinformation because I dared to voice my opinion on it. And that's all it is just my opinion. I'm not giving anybody medical advice. I am not a doctor. I don't know. Do I need that? Like, not a doctor responds to, is that the titles that I need to put in my videos now? You know? Much of that is due to the divisive and rhetoric, as well as an inconsistent guidance from bureaucratic organizations like the Centers for Disease Control. Yeah, they're all over the board. The U.S. has still not hit the administration's other goal of fully shooting up 165 million Americans by the 4th of July. It's about 8.5 million short. New cases per day in the U.S. have increased 6-fold over the past month to an average of nearly 80,000, a level not seen since mid-February. And deaths per day have climbed over the past 2 weeks from an average of 259 to 360. Those are still well below the 3,400 deaths and 250,000 cases per day seen during the worst of the outbreak in January. But some places around the country are watching caseloads reach their highest levels since the pandemic began. Health officials said in San Francisco, that's where you want to get your health advice from, and 6 other Bay Area counties announced Monday that they are reinstating a requirement that everyone, shotted up or not, wear a mask in public, indoor and indoor spaces. Governor Andrew Cuomo said New York City's airport and transit workers will have to get shotted or face weekly testing. Yeah, we reported on that before. He stopped short of mandating either mask or inoculations for the general public, saying he lacks legal authority to do so. Well, that's good. At least he knows that. Denver's mayor said the city will require police officers, firefighters, and certain other municipal employees to get the shot, along with workers at school, nursing homes, hospitals, and jails. Minnesota public colleges and universities will require a mask indoors, regardless of your status of your sniffles shots. New Jersey said workers at the state-run nursing homes, I can't say that word today. Hospitals and other such institutions must get the shot or face regular testing. North Carolina's governor ordered the state employees to cover up indoors if they are not fully sniffle shotted. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said a nationwide sniffle shot requirement is not on the table. Good, because if you did it, you'd have at least 30% of the people in the streets, most likely. But noted that employers might have the right to take such a step, and that's how they'll do it. They can't quiet you down. They can't. You do have a First Amendment, technically, right? They know that they'll lose that shit in court. So they're not going to tell you to shut up. They're going to tell the corporations, they're going to tell the Facebooks, they're going to tell the Googles, they're going to tell the YouTubes, you censor their voice because they're spreading misinformation and that is dangerous and people could die. So we need you to enforce these rules because we can't. And now they want to get everybody sniffle shotted up and they can't. But they can make employers do it. And if your job tells you you have to do that or you're going to lose your job, that's going to take a lot of people will take the shot. A lot of people will take the shot. How many Americans live paycheck to paycheck? They can't afford not to take the shot at that point. Hopefully they have a little bit of savings. What's up, Walter Davis? I'll get to chat in just a second. While setting a national sniffle shot goal may have been useful for trying to drum up enthusiasm for shots, 70% of Americans getting one shot was never going to be enough to prevent surges among the unshotted groups. And when they announced the goal, Biden acknowledged it was just the first step. Sniffle shot rates in some southern states are far lower than they are in New England, Vermont. Vermont has fully inoculated nearly 78% of its adult population. Alabama has just cracked 43%. Well, you also have Boston and Massachusetts itself being one of the least free states where they have infringed on multiple rights, not just the Second Amendment, but multiple rights. The birthplace of freedom. Boston, Mass. And it's probably one of the least free places in this country. Ironic. All right. Ooh, we're talking about AR-10 stuff? Right on. Bruh. Yeah, me and Riddle been talking about that. I want to get to that pretty soon. All right. Did I miss one? No, I didn't. Feeling, brother. Yeah, 85% that's got it is sick. That's got it is sick. 85% that's got it is sick. Who got the shot? I know they get the symptoms right away, but it goes away supposedly. And isn't that the same thing with the flu shot? I've never gotten one, but I've known a lot of people that say every damn time I get a flu shot, I get sick. Because there's some live ones in there or something. I don't know how all that works. I used to work rotating 12-hour shifts, Monday and Tuesday, then off Wednesday and Thursday, then work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Next week I work Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah, that would be another thing that would kind of stink is if you work 4 12-hour days, but they were spaced, so you got, well, maybe if you got one day in between each, that wouldn't be too bad. The governor made masks illegal here. Really? They're not illegal. People still wear them. I would imagine he made it illegal to make them wear them. Off topic, real quick. I just purchased a Leupold FX Freedom 4x12x44 rifle scope. Yeah. Here's the thing about scopes. I only got one, and it came on my Ruger 1022. I'm not really good with scopes. I wish I was, because I am looking at making an AR-10. For the AR-10, what can you tell me about it? If you know anything, I don't. For my AR-10 build that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be putting the Sight Mark Wraith on it. I don't have it yet. I don't have the Sight Mark Wraith, but I don't have the rifle either. So, I mean, I have some parts, not all of them. But I'm hoping to start building that AR-10 pretty soon. As I said, the only expensive things that I want to put on it is the barrel, quality barrel, probably from Ballistics Advantage, because I really like the barrel that's on my 300 Blackout from Ballistics Advantage, and I believe in the company. So I'm gonna call them, see if I can get a barrel if they have one in stock. If not, I'm gonna have to look somewhere else. But at that point, when I'm looking for a barrel, I'll probably let y'all know. And then I want the bolt carrier group to come from the same company. It would be nice to have it all matched up, Pelosi said a few months ago that they cannot require, or AKA force people to get the jab. No, they can't. They can't legally. They can't. Legally, they're not allowed to censor your freedom of speech either. But try to say something against the sniffles here on YouTube and see what happens. It's backdoor. Backdoor. Everybody's saying hi to everybody. Walter's in the chat. What's up, Walter? The AR-10 is just oversized AR-15. I guess it's a wholly different caliber, bro. So you got a 22 with a lot of powder, going pretty fast, or you got a 30 cal bullet going pretty fast. It's 308, right? Yeah, 308. And then you can get AR-10s chambered in other things. Somebody was trying to talk me into a Grindle, and I'm like, I don't know how to reload that. I could probably reload 308. I'm pretty sure it's like a really popular round. So just a heads up, Nancy lies. Yeah. Yeah, Walter, I'll probably be going with the 308. Yeah, definitely. Just because the first one, I now have two of those paperweights, and I do plan on making another one, and I'm not exactly sure if that one will be 308 either. But at this point in history, with the way this world is going, I kind of want to make sure it's stuff that's useful and not just for fun. So my 300 Blackout it was meant to be a useful firearm, and it still technically is because I mean it's a 300 Black, and it would do what I want it to do very nicely, especially with the suppressor on it. But for the getting into 6.5 Grindles or whatever those are, or Creedmoors, I forget which. I think you can do either. I don't want to get a funny caliber that I can't find, and if I do, it's really expensive. 308's hard to find just because it's so popular, but at the same time, a lot of people have it, so they make extra of that. So I don't know. What's your guys' opinion? To be honest, I know I could find stuff how to reload it easy. As far as 6.5 Grindle and Creedmoor, shit, I don't know. The race is good, just goes through batteries real bad. Oh, does it? I didn't know that. Now, do you know if what kind of batteries? Is it like double A's? Hopefully it's double A's because at least double A's you can get rechargeable ones. Is there a rifle that shoots 357 Magnum round? Yes. Yeah, it's a lever action. You can get a Henry rifle. It has a lever action. It looks like an 1800s. Freaking love that shit. I would love to get one of those. 308 is the best because of availability of ammo. Exactly. 6.5 is great, but not widely. And I've heard, I think it was the Creed, or 6.5 Creed. I don't remember which one, but somebody said it's like it goes super fast, so there's not very much bullet drop. It's just a straight line. I think that was Glocker Bob that was trying to talk me into Creedmoor. 308 is, yeah, it's easy to reload too. So that's why I'll probably be, I would say 99% it'll be a 308, the first one. The second one, we'll see how the world is going at that point. Because I'm not planning on doing anything really soon anyway. Because right now we're piecing together Riddle's computer. Because that was her birthday present, so I want to get that done. And after that, we'll talk about the AR-10 a little bit more. Seattle area Christian mission asks Supreme Court to let them hire believers. Seattle's Union Gospel Mission, a Christian nonprofit group that aids the homeless, appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court on Monday after the Washington Supreme Court issued a decision that forced it to hire non-Christian employees. The Washington Supreme Court ruled in Seattle's Union Gospel Mission versus Woods that the Christian organization does not have a protected First Amendment right to hire employees whose beliefs align with its own, according to a press release from the Alliance Defending Freedom, which represents the mission. Churches and religious organizations have the First Amendment right to hire those who share their beliefs without being punished by the government, said John Bursch, ADF Senior Counsel and Vice President of Appellate Advocacy. Well, here's the problem. They need to bring up Hooters. Hooters. Yeah, have you ever been to Hooters? I hear their chicken wings are amazing. I've never gotten their chicken wings. I haven't been to Hooters forever. But I guarantee you, there's certain people that they hire and others that they don't. Now, it's not because of their religion, right? But I can't get a job waiting tables. I mean, I'd probably look pretty cute in that little tank top. But I ain't getting that job. What's up, Quantum Loaded? Man, it's been a minute, Quantum. Welcome back. 6.5 Grindle will keep up with a 50 BMG out to a mile if you can find them. Yeah. It might be a good... I'm glad you know this shit, Walter Davis, because, I wouldn't mind that. I would love to be able to shoot a mile accurately. I think that would be an achievement. Would love to do that. Yeah, all is good with us, Quantum. He uses 4 double A's in the race and 3 A's in the infrared flashlight. 2 of them. Well, luckily I do. You can get rechargeable 123s. I know that the hologram. I had a EOTech zombie stopper. If people that watch a lot of my channel stuff would know this, but I used to have an EOTech zombie stopper, and it had the biohazard as the reticle. That thing took 2 123A batteries, and if I didn't even touch it, would go dead within like a couple months. So I'm really, really, really like the Hollow Sun. So I have a Hollow Sun now on my 300 blackout. I think it was like $325. So it was less than the EOTech. The EOTech was 550, right? So this one's 320, and it was the most expensive one. They have ones for anywhere between like 150 up to 350, and it has that shake weight technology. The battery will last me 5 years, so I like that a lot. Should be perfectly fine to hire Christians if the company is Christian. Yeah, you think so? Are you saying you don't identify as a 20-something hot chick? Is that why you don't work for? It might be fun to apply though. I ain't lying. Yeah, definitely glad to have Quantum back. All right. Let's see. The Supreme Court has established a long-standing precedent that religious groups have the First Amendment right to outline employment and membership criteria. Courts have consistently recognized that a religious organization's purpose will be undermined if the government forces it to hire those who do not subscribe to the group's beliefs, First said. The case began when Matthew Wood applied to be a lawyer for the mission's legal wing, a position. Of course, it's a lawyer. Of course, it's a lawyer. A position that involves talking with clients about Jesus Christ and attending worship services and prayer meetings, in addition to providing legal advice. Woods did not meet the mission's religious requirements. He professed no Christian faith, no belief in Jesus Christ, no church membership or attendance, and he did not provide the mandatory contact information for his pastor since he didn't have one. The mission rejected his application because it lacked the most basic requirement for the job and hired another applicant. Then Woods sued the mission. One of Washington's local court dismissed the case in recognition that Christian groups have the right to exclusively hire Christians. The Washington Supreme Court rejected hundreds of years of American law, tradition, and case precedent and decided to force religious groups to hire people who reject or even oppose their beliefs. Yeah, this one's getting overturned if the Supreme Court actually I don't know, maybe. It's a crapshoot nowadays. The federal government and the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 9th, and 11th circuits have all recognized that the First Amendment protects religious nonprofits' right to hire core linguists, reads the ATF petition to the U.S. Supreme Court in Seattle's Union Gospel Mission versus Wood. Okay. That's the new one. New York County may extend new protections for police. Let them sue protesters. What? You're gonna allow cops to sue your protesters? Anybody interested in that story? I don't have this up. So if you want to hear about that one, let me know. Step 1 to fix the country, hang out with the lawyers. I don't know. I think lawyers are, well, that lawyer's a dick, obviously. But I'd be more intent to hire all the media. Every one of them. Fox included. Hang them all. Theoretically. Evidence unearthed by the GOP strengthens link between the Wuhan lab and the sniffles outbreak. Your father, who was a lawyer, used to say that? I don't doubt it. Citing satellite photos, unusual finding request, and the deletion of an online database by China's Wuhan Institute of Virology, amongst other circumstantial evidence, the ranking Republican on the House Foreign Affairs Committee released a new report that firmly pointed to the Wuhan lab as the source of the sniffles. As we continue to investigate the origins of the sniffles, I believe it's time to completely dismiss the wet market as the source of the outbreak, said Representative Michael McCall of Texas. Instead, this report lays out a preponderance of the evidence proves that all roads leads to the Wuhan virology lab. Reports come as President Joe Biden deadline for the intelligence community to review the origins of the sniffle outbreak that has killed 613,000 Americans and over 4 million worldwide looms just a few weeks away, according to Fox News. Boy, can you imagine if Senator Rand Paul can put Fauci on this? You're going to be responsible for 4 million people dying. That's a lot of jail time, bro. What's up, Lemmy Liquor? My butt's been white. What? That's so random, bro, but thanks for being here. Appreciate it. The House GOP report says the sniffles likely leaked from the lab sometime late in August or early September of 2019. Local Chinese authorities began to frantically cover up the accident. The WIV asked for another $1 million to enhance security for the facility and took their sniffle database offline in the middle of the night. But their cover-up was too late. The sniffles was already spreading throughout the mega city of Wuhan. Within a month, satellite images show significant uptick in the number of people at hospitals around the WIV with symptoms similar to the sniffles, said the House report. In addition, the report said that soldiers from around the world who have participated in the military World Games in Wuhan that fall became ill with the sniffle-like symptoms and carried the sniffles back to their home countries. The soldiers spread the sniffles, creating one of the earliest super spreader events in the world. Maybe for the sniffles, but not for like the plague. And explaining how countries who participated in the games had reported cases as early as November 2019. Biden says that quite. My butt's been white. Oh, yeah. Wasn't that recent? I totally missed that. I was watching some news later on or something, some clips on YouTube. Hold on. I want to see if I can't find this.
What must be what?
Wiped my butt, Jack, every time so far. They'll be getting wipes in the mail that are consequential. It's been wiped. It's just a reminder, I wiped the butt.
Okay, well, that's just hilarity right there. That's funny as hell, but I wanted to actually. Let's see.
What must be what?
Must it be reconciliation?
What must be what?
Immigration. A pathway for citizenship.
There needs to be a pathway for citizenship. Whether it can be an immigration remains.
So I don't know if he actually said that or not. That was a little vague.
What must be what? What must be what? What must be what?
Sounds more like he just had an episode. He didn't catch all the words that he was trying to speak. A study completed in June suggested that a smaller number of sniffle cases occurred in the U.S. prior to Christmas 2019, which would likely preclude the so-called wet market as the site of the original sniffle outbreak. The study relied on analysis of the 24,000 blood samples from the Americans as federal health officials are increasingly accepting a timeline in which small numbers of the sniffle infections may have occurred in the U.S. before the world even became aware of a dangerous new sniffle erupting in China. The U.S. well, I imagine everybody would have thought it was the flu because when that came out, that was during flu season. In fact, my daughter even said she got sick right around that time, just like the worst flu she had ever had. So she's probably already had it. The U.S. government began to look more seriously at the WIV as the source of the outbreak in February of 2021. Oh my God. When rumors began to circulate of a defection by a top Chinese intelligence official who brought information about the origins of the sniffles. Then came the largely ineffectual investigation by the World Health Organization, which finally sent 34 scientists to Wuhan over a year after the first cases was reported to the rest of the world. The subsequent 300-page report by the WHO about the origins of the sniffles relied only upon documents provided by the Chinese Communist government. Oh yeah, they're not going to say anything, that's a lie. No WHO official actually interviewed anybody from that institution. The scientific media picked up the lab origin theme as a recognized technical expert, such as the MIT Technology Review and the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists, called for an independent investigations into the origins of the sniffles in the wake of the whitewash by the WHO. And this is why I don't trust them anymore. A lab leak as the origins of the sniffles 19 isn't just a possibility, but at the very least is more likely a probability, if not very close to certainty, John Ratcliffe, former director of national intelligence, said over the weekend. More than 18 months after the sniffles first leaked into the world, I still have not seen a single shred of scientific evidence or intelligence that the sniffles outbreak was naturally occurring spillover that just jumped from animal to human, said Ratcliffe. The GOP House said that they have a particular interest in talking to Peter Daszak, a WHO investigator who was responsible for helping the Chinese at the Wuhan laboratory secure millions in funding. So there might be some financial interest between this lab in China and the World Health Organization. Wow. Daszak has worked behind the scenes trying to paint the Wuhan leak hypothesis as conspiracy theories. Now is the time to use all the tools the U.S. government has to continue to root out the full truth of how this sniffle came to be, McCall said. That includes subpoenaing Peter Daszak to appear before the House Foreign Affairs Committee to answer many questions his inconsistent and, in some instances, outright and knowingly inaccurate statements have raised. Well, if he told an inaccurate statement in court, anyway, that's perjury. Biden said that. Did you see the interview when he said there are always saying sit down and close the door? Yeah, I did see that. I think I did. Let me just copy that. That brought something else up. All right. I guess it's not there. It's really funny. I think he was speaking figuratively, indicating he is tired. Oh, yeah, maybe. But because he's so feeble, everyone's mind goes. It could be. So we used to do the Big Brother reality show here. That's one of the big. Well, that's what got the channel kind of big. Well, it's not big, but you know what I mean. Got most of the numbers. And there was one time when I was trying to say Ronnie was coming down the stairs and people were onto him, right? And that he better watch his ass. And I could not say watch his ass at all. And it came out wash his ass. And now we laughed over that. We still laugh over that to this day. And I put it in bloopers and the whole bit. It was just that funny. But I would seriously, at that moment when I made that mistake, I seriously tried to say wash, or I'm messing it up now. Watch his ass. I kept trying to say watch his ass, but it kept coming out wrong. I don't know. Maybe he's having an episode. What's up, Irish? Thank you for the lemons. I didn't see it because I don't get that alert on these chats. Sorry about that. But thank you, Riddle, for saying thanks. The Chinese build cell phones and satellites. I find it hard to believe they aren't smart enough not to eat meat from rodents. They have been in unrefrigerated, laid out in the sun all day. Well, they said it's a mega city. I mean, I would imagine I'd say that, like, if it was out in the suburbs, or not suburbs, but out in the rural areas, that maybe there'd be people eating that like that because, communism. I have no idea. Chinese people eat some strange things. Let's just put it that way. The culture is definitely different. Chinese food here in America and there is much different. U.S. braces for flood of Afghani refugees as the Biden expands eligibility. But Biden administration on Monday expanded its efforts to assist at-risk Afghan citizens fleeing Taliban violence as fighting intensifies ahead of the U.S. military pullout at the end of the month. The State Department said it's widening the scope of Afghans eligible for refugee status in the United States to include current and former employees of U.S.-based news organizations, U.S.-based aid and development agencies, and other relief groups that receive U.S. funding. Now, I go back and forth on this. So for the people that have put their name out there, that, hey, you know, old Muhammad over there, he's been working for the U.S. government. Oh, okay. Well, we can't do anything to him. Oh, they're pulling out? Yeah, we're going to get Muhammad. You know, right? And so I get that part of it, and that sucks. But at the same time, you better be very careful who you're letting in over here. That's a real quick way to bring somebody over that has bad intentions if you don't check that shit. And looking at the World Health Organization or the Centers for Disease Control, I don't think there's anybody at the wheel. So I don't trust any of these bureaucrats. Man, talk about screwing shit up. Just give it to the government. They'll screw it up real good. Current and former employees of the U.S. government and the NATO military operation who don't meet the criteria for a dedicated program for such workers are also covered. However, the move comes with a major caveat that may severely limit the number of people who can benefit. Applicants must leave Afghanistan to begin the education process that may take 12 to 14 months in a third country, and the U.S. does not intend to support their departures or stays there. Okay, so they'll have to pay their way. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken acknowledged the difficulties that applicants would face, but said the U.S. remains committed to seeking a peaceful and secure Afghanistan. This is an incredibly hard, he told reporters. It's so hard on so many levels, that's what she said. It's hard to pick up and leave everything you know, and it's hard to get yourself to a place where you can take advantage of what opportunities exist to apply for refugee status. And we recognize that this is the case for millions of people around the world who find themselves in very difficult situations, and particularly in Afghanistan now. All right. I'm done with that one. It's boring. I don't really know how I feel on that one, though. Like, what's your guys' opinion? They helped you out during the Afghan war. Is it worth the risk? They're making them go to a third country for up to 14 months, and they have to pay their own way. I mean, that's kind of commitment if they can come up with that kind of cash. If they can't come up with that kind of cash, but they were still, good people, that kind of sucks for them, right? Or maybe a good person who was a good person now does a crime in order to get money so that they can do something. I don't know. Wuhan, I got you all in check. Same thing happened in Vietnam. We left and everyone who worked for the Americans were lined up and shot. Yep. When that was done, they claimed everyone in Vietnam supports the Vietnamese government. Well, we didn't lose that war because it wasn't a war. It was a police action, right? This one's like 20 odd years. Can you imagine that? Even Vietnam wasn't 20 years. Was it? I don't think so. The Biden administration on Monday expanded its efforts to assist at-risk. I already read that. I'm starting to read it again. So here's the Lindsey Graham story. Apparently, Lindsey Graham, with the sniffle shot, has become sick with the sniffles. Graham has the sniffles despite vax. It is Mansion houseboat party to blame. Ooh, Mansion. Just 2 weeks after Texas Democrats fleeing their legislative duties trigger. Has anybody heard on that? Are they still in Washington? Fleeing legislative duties to trigger the super. You know what? I'm going to look for that. News. Let's do. Two hours ago. Runaway Texas Democrats are bringing in reinforcements to Washington, D.C. for their voting rights pressure campaign and is... shoot. Look. I don't want to do that. Pressure campaign, more than 100 state legislators prepared to join it. Okay, yeah, so they're still there. They're still there. Senator Lindsey Graham has become the first senator to disclose a breakthrough infection after being shotted against the sniffles. And following reports of bipartisan social function over the weekend hosted by Senator Joe Manchin, that means others could follow, potentially derailing a vote on infrastructure that recently moved to the Senate floor. We got some other stories about the infrastructure bill, too. Graham said Monday he is very glad he received the shot, without which his current symptoms would be far worse. And how would you know that? Did you have one before you had the shot? The announcement comes as the U.S. finally reaches its rate of 70% of adults having obtained at least one of the sniffle shots, a milestone for President Joe Biden that he had pledged to achieve by the 4th of July. Even having moved the goalposts repeatedly, the administration failed to incite the necessary number of Americans, largely due to the divisive rhetoric and inconsistent guidelines. However, with the media hype spread of the new Delta variant, along with the renewed threats of lockdowns and other punitive measures against resistant regions, the population finally reached its supposed herd immunity level, only to discover that the shots do not appear to work as expected. In a statement issued Monday afternoon, Graham said he started having flu-like symptoms Saturday night and went to the doctor Monday morning. After being notified of his positive test, Graham said he would quarantine for 10 days. Not 14. Why not 14? I feel like I have a sinus infection at the present time. I have mild symptoms. The 66-year-old Graham said, I am very glad I got the shot because without the shot, I'm certain I would have not felt as well as I do now. My symptoms would be far worse. You don't know. According to a spokesman, Kevin Bishop, Graham attended an event over the weekend hosted by Manchin on his houseboat and attended by other senators. Please, Lord. Please, Lord, get them all the sniffles. I shouldn't pray for that. But at the same time, I love to see karma, which totally different religion, I know. Sam Runyon, a spokeswoman for Manchin, said the West Virginia Democrat is fully shotted up and following the CDC guidelines for those exposed to the sniffles positive individual. Manchin received his second dose of the sniffle shot earlier this year, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Fully shotted people uh, determined to have been in close contact with someone who had the sniffles do not need to quarantine if they are asymptomatic, but should be tested within 5 days and wear a mask indoors for 4 days until testing negative. Graham, who has gotten the shot in December, has long been a proponent of the shot, saying that during a visit this spring to the Medical University of South Carolina in Charleston, that the sooner we get everybody with the sniffle shot, the quicker we can get back to normal. Yeah. Graham's infection comes on the heels of an updated CDC guideline urging even fully shotted people to return to wearing masks indoors in areas of high sniffle transmission, citing the surge of highly contagious Delta variant. He probably got the Delta variant, which is a lot. I've heard from some cases, I'm sure there's dissenting opinion, but what I've heard is it's a lot more easy to catch, but a lot harder to kill you. Who knows? Graham, who was wearing his mask, did not answer questions from reporters on Capitol Hill earlier Monday prior to the statement being issued. Because of the Senate votes, Graham was not in attendance at Friday night's Silver Elephant Dinner, the South Carolina Republican Party's signature annual fundraiser, and an event attended by hundreds, including former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, a headlining speaker. They didn't have Trump at that barbecue, I bet. He has a head cold. Same family of the sniffles, like the woo flu. He almost made ace before leaving the deck of an aircraft carrier. Really? Are we talking about what Lemmy has done or what somebody else has done that you're telling Lemmy about? He rotted in Hanoi, Hilton, with 2 broken arms after taking a certain death mission nobody else would go on, then proceeded to betray the nation. Ooh, did I miss something? McCain. Yeah, McCain. Oh, McCain. Being from Arizona, I remember because I grew up in Arizona and I voted for McCain a few times. I didn't really learn who he was until later on. And boy, I tell you what, it's a good thing he's gone. Talk about a warmonger. Yep, I saw that. I loved it when Trump would get on him for being. Why are you a hero? You got captured. So you survived being captured. What'd you have to do that? You know, that's a good question. Third police officer who was responded to the January 6th thing attack dies by his own hand. A third a third police officer who responded to the January 6th event on the U.S. Capitol has died by suicide. Gunther Hashdia was found dead in his home Thursday, according to an emailed statement from the department. A spokesperson from the MPD confirmed to The Hill that Hashadi died by suicide. We are grieving as a department, as our thoughts and prayers are with the officer Hashida's family and friends, the department wrote in the statement. Hashida was assigned to the emergency response team within the Special Operations Division, according to the department. Hashida died 2 days after the select committee probing the January 6th event held its first hearing, where 4 police officers delivered harrowing testimony. Oh, we were so afraid of our lives. They had their hands and words, and they were yelling dirty words straight at our face. And one of them threw so many dirty words at my face, I thought I was about to die until I cried out, "I'm a father!" And he let me live. Yeah, you had it real fucking hard. About their experience defending the Capitol amid the tour of the Capitol that went on. The officers testified about their trauma that they were left with following the riot, the event. For most people, January 6th happened for a few hours, but for those of us who were there in the thick of it, it has not ended. That day continues to be a constant trauma for us literally every day, whether because of our physical or emotional injuries or both. I want to see photos of their physical injuries. I'm sure they took them if you actually got them. Capitol Police Sergeant Gonell said, Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn said he is receiving private counseling therapy for the persistent emotional trauma he faces from that day. And there was a story over here, wasn't there? Which one was it? Yeah, look at New York right here. I'm going to be bringing this one over. All right. DC police officer Michael Fanone told the committee that he was left with the psychological trauma and the emotional anxiety of having survived such a horrific event, and my children continue to deal with the trauma of nearly losing their dad that day. Does anybody have photos of any officers being assaulted or accosted? Like to the point where they'd be fearing for their lives? They all had guns, did they not? Only one of them pulled it out and shot anybody. DC police officer Michael Fanone told the committee that he was left. I already read that part. In a statement on Monday, Pelosi called Hashida a hero. He's a hero. Dude ate a gun. On behalf of the House of Representatives, I send the deepest condolences. You didn't say anything about Amy Barrett, did you? To the family and the loved ones of the MPD officer Gunther Hashida. Officer Hashida was a hero who risked his life to save our capital, the congressional community, and our very democracy. Well, you should give him the Medal of Honor. All Americans are indebted to him for his great valor and patriotism on January 6th and throughout his selfless service, she wrote. May Officer Hashida's life be an inspiration to all to protect our country and democracy. And may it be a comfort to Officer Hashida's family that so many mourn their loss and pray for them at this sad time, she added. Hashida is the third police officer who served on the Capitol on the 6th to die by suicide. Wow. U.S. Capitol Police Officer Lyndon Good, Jeffrey Smith both died of suicide in the following days after the incident. done during the House Select Committee hearing last week directly discussed the emotional toll of January 6th. They haven't seen anything. You know what it was? You know what it is? Those people scared the absolute shit out of them. There was a lot of them, and they were pissed, at least with their words. They didn't do no violence that I saw. But can you imagine? Like, they know if those people at that time wanted to do something, they could have. That's what scared them. Not what they actually did, but what they could have done. Because usually, have you ever noticed that when somebody gets pulled over, it's no longer just one cop pulling anybody over? Here in Phoenix, 3 cop cars for every time they pull somebody over. They won't even get out of the car to ask you for your license and registration until they got at least 2 more cars right there. They're scared. Like, seriously, in my opinion, just my opinion, I think police officers are highly strung. First of all, they're on a power trip because they're the boss. They're above the law, right? They got their whole gang with them. The boys are ready to go, right? Oh, don't you even fuck with me, boy. I'll put you down. But when you outnumber them like they did on the 6th, they become very polite. All right. Urging his colleagues to seek professional help if needed. I know so many other officers continue to hurt, both physically and emotionally. I want to take this moment to speak to my fellow officers about the emotions that they are continuing to experience from the events of the 6th. There is absolutely nothing wrong with seeking professional counseling. What we went through that day was traumatic, and if you are hurting, please take advantage of the counseling services that are available to us, Dunn said. He also asked the panel to look into the resources available for the officers and determine if they are significant enough to meet our needs. I also respectfully ask that this select committee review the available resources, the services available to us, and consider whether they are significant enough to meet our needs, especially with respect to the amount of leave that we are allowed, he said. I'm kind of wondering if they'll go ahead and give him his pension. Do they give police officers their pension when they commit suicide? Oh, that fly is gonna die. You gonna die, bud. A service is being held, yada yada. So there you go. Oh, I already said something. Hold up. Oh, now you singing. You singing clear what Credence? Hell yeah, bro. All right, I finally found it. No, he didn't. He broke orders and flew where he wasn't supposed to. The soldiers that picked him up beat him up bad at the camp. They figured out his father was an admiral and gave him special treatment. That's why he probably lived. It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no fortunate one. So I want to know if these 3 were legit suicides or if they were Epstein. Ooh, I have no idea. Good conspiracy theory, though. What happened to the jab being a cure? It's not. Not until everybody gets it. Once everybody gets it, then we can. Okay, hold up. I got to mute for a second. Got his ass. Eh. Did I? Well, at least I muted that. That would have been loud as all hell. Special treatment. He made James Fonda like propaganda. Oh, I can see what you did there. That's why he didn't want to come home. He was a complete darfer with a powerful father, kind of like Hunter Biden. Yeah, I didn't know much about McCain's father, but I knew that he was something big. Those cops need to retire. They can't handle the job. Well, they've never faced that. Whoever ever in their lifetime at that job has ever come on that big of a group and with that kind of, freedom cry. They were legit scared for sure. I'm sure of it. That went away as soon as they realized that they could draw it out longer by scarring people with variants. Money and power to be had. It's the guilt of being on the wrong side of history. That's why they need counseling. Maybe. I wouldn't say that, Walter. I don't think they think that. I think they were just scared that they could have. If that crowd wanted to, they could have taken them all out. Where's Irish? Irish is on D Live. Don't you see his comments? I think that police should have undergo annual or biannual fitness tests. Yeah. Have you seen the cops in the Phoenix area, Riddle? I could get on the police force. Everything we type here shows up there, and everything they type there shows up here. Yep. I have a new to me used computer that hopefully will work for the morning muster starting next week. What? What, bro? Do we need to have a video chat, or do we need to go over? I mean, I know you're a little rusty, bro. I mean, you're solid rust. You need a. If you need any help with that, let me know. I'll free some time up. They remember why they became officers to protect people from the state. Yeah, no, they don't. Here's the thing: when you're in that, it's all about your echo chambers, right? And that's just a different version of an echo chamber. You know, all your guys are like, yeah, these criminals suck. Everybody, everybody's a perp. We got to protect all these people. And then when those people that your gang always shows up in mass numbers to harass one or two individuals, when that now overwhelms you, that's why I think it's the other way around on that one. If it was Antifa or BLM, the cops would have all died and all the sneakers and the TV sets would have been stolen and the building burned. Yeah. I've seen a lot more violence against police officers at BLM rallies than I did that day on the 6th of January. I knew the Vietnam pilot who told me about McCain in the 90s. I do know there was some people that were totally against him that I'd seen videos on. That's when I first started realizing McCain was a piece of shit. Heck, it's time for some people to get the booster shots. LOL, that's why they are pushing it so hard now. Maybe. New York County may extend new protections for police, letting them sue protesters. If this works in New York, expect this to be a nationwide thing, in my opinion. Lawmakers in suburban New York County are set to vote Monday on a proposal that would allow police officers to sue protesters and collect financial damages, a move civil rights activists say is payback for violent race riots and anti-police discrimination after the police killing of George Floyd last year in Minneapolis. Newsday reports that the bill being considered by the Nassau County legislature would make police officers and other first responders a protected class under the county's human rights law, which currently bars discrimination based on race, religion, gender, and sexual orientation. No other professions are protected under the human rights law. The bill would allow a lawyer from the Long Island County to sue protesters on behalf of officers and calls for fines up to $25,000 for anyone who harasses, menaces, or injures an officer. Harasses. That's the key word right there. If you're filming him if he's across the street dealing with somebody and you have your phone filming him, they're going to call harassment on that shit. Menaces. The fine amount would be doubled if the offending behavior happened in the course of participating in a riot, the bill says. Even if it doesn't. 25 grand if I'm filming a cop beating somebody down or just doing a traffic stop. There's a lot of those, what do they call it when you audit the police or some shit like that. That's going to be a thing of the past. Civil rights lawyer Frederick Brewington told reporters Friday that the bill violates free speech rights and, if passed, will have a chilling effect on protesters. The NAACP said it will bring members to a Monday vote. If you want to shut someone down, take away their livelihood, Brewing said. If you want to shut someone down and take away their spirit, this is intended to invoke fear in the community. This is payback. It's not right. It's not acceptable, and it's against the law. I agree 100% with that. See, we can have common ground. The bill backers, a Democratic legislator. Wow, really? A Democratic legislator is the one that's doing this? And an independent who caucuses with Democrats declined to comment to Newsday. The head of the county's police union told the newspaper he supports the bill. County Executive Lauren Curran, a Democrat, hasn't said whether she'd sign or veto the bill if it's approved in the Republican-controlled legislature. A spokesperson told Newsday that Curran looks forward to hearing the public comment and discussion and will review any potential amendments that may be proposed by the legislature. Wow. Good luck on collecting unemployment meth out punk who lives in mom's basement. Holy shit. Who are you talking about? It's time for some people to get the booster shot. Yeah, I don't know. We're going to be overtime tonight. Biden administration wants to use taxpayer dollars to provide illegals attorneys. I'm not going to read it. I'm not horribly surprised though. I mean, if you break the law in the United States, you're still entitled to a lawyer. You're still entitled to a public defender, which kind of makes you think if that's a constitutionally protected right, and let's say an illegal gets busted here and we give him a lawyer, wouldn't they have all the other rights too? I don't know. Let me know on that one. I don't really know much about that one. Excuse me. All right. Speaking of the infrastructure bill, the squad's House will kill the infrastructure bill if the demands are not met. You gotta love these ladies. Representative Cortez said that she and other leftist squad members of the Congress would block the $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure package if Senate Democrats refuse to also pass separate spending bill via a party line vote. If there's not a reconciliation bill in the House and if the Senate does not pass a reconciliation bill, we will uphold our end of the bargain and not pass the bipartisan bill until we get all these investments, she told CNN over the weekend. So they want reparations? Senator Krista Sinema from Arizona announced last week that she would not support Democrats' proposed $3 trillion infrastructure proposal via the reconciliation process, and Senator Joe Manchin also raised concerns about the cost of the bill. In response, Cortez and other progressives suggested Sinema and Manchin are racist for only supporting a bipartisan package that was drafted by white members of Congress. Wow. And this is why I am saying, bro, this is getting heated. Getting really heated. Good luck tanking your own party's investment on childcare, climate action, and infrastructure while presuming you'll survive a 3-vote House margin, especially after choosing to exclude members of color from negotiations and calling that a bipartisan accomplishment, Cortez told Cinema via Twitter. You know what? As much as I dislike that lady, you gotta give her mad props, bro. If you actually agreed with what she's saying, you would be very proud of her. And as I said, if she was your daughter, being a freaking bartender, going to there and being that influential, that's an accomplishment. I mean, she's wrong on almost everything that comes out of her mouth, but she's got the passion for it. Only citizens have protections under our Constitution. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. That's debatable. I mean, that's like Supreme Court talk, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure you get a public defender whether you're a citizen or not. And to be honest, my opinion on that is I think that if you are in America, especially if you're in America, I think you should have your constitutional rights. At least maybe not the voting. But at the same time, you should be treated like a human being. I don't know. I'm not really 100% locked into my beliefs on this, to be honest. But I do believe that the Bill of Rights or the independent Declaration of Independence says all people are endowed with their inalienable rights from their creator. That's not just people in America. We should be striving to have the Constitution apply to everybody in the world and treat everybody accordingly, and be upset when somebody in Mexico can't protect their family because they can't get a gun because guns are illegal, but all the criminals have firearms. Okay. That's what I think. But it's hard because, we got enough shit here at home that we have to deal with to not even pay attention to that shit. Well, if they're going to play that and the cops can sue and it's why is it that when a cop does something, you have to go after the department now? Yeah. No, there was a, which one was it? There was a state that said, I think it was Missouri, right? Missouri, where the sheriff quit because they enacted a new law saying that if you help out the federal government with gun control, you personally are going to get fined. The officer was going to get fined originally, like $5,000 or more than that, maybe. I don't even know. That pissed a lot of people off. So they took that away and made it that same amount, but made it for the department, which means it's the taxpayers. Yeah. Guns posted a new video. Nice. Should vote or have a pulse? All I said is I don't know, man. I don't know what. I definitely agree that voting. No, I'm not for that. But as far as giving them a lawyer, I'd be all right with that. Public defender. What are they doing anyway? I don't know. Illinois agency says Trump due $1 million tax refund for Chicago skyscraper. Ooh, is he going to get money back? An Illinois tax agency has ruled that former President Donald Trump is due a $1 million refund on the 2011 tax bill for his downtown Chicago skyscraper, but local officials are trying to block the refund. The Chicago Times reported that the issue is the Cook County Board of Review's estimation of the value of the Trump International Hotel and Tower rooms and retail space. In June, the Illinois Property Tax Appeal Board voted 5-0 to reduce the assessment on the building's commercial property. The vote means that Trump is owed $1.03 million money that would come out of property taxes due to the city of Chicago, the Chicago Public Schools, and several other government agencies. Oh, that's hilarious. The Cook County State Attorney is disputing the refund and has filed a lawsuit with the Illinois Appellate Court in the hopes of blocking it. The dispute is the latest chapter in a long-running legal battle over Trump's tax bills that started more than 12 years ago and has led to more than $14 million in tax breaks for Trump. It also involves not only a former president who is in the middle of a host of politically motivated legal battles, but a Chicago alderman whose own legal troubles has been making headlines in Chicago for months. Alderman Edward Burke, whose former law firm Clafter and Burke won the tax breaks for Trump, have been indicted on federal charges that he blocked businesses from getting city permits unless they hired the firm. He has pled not guilty and is awaiting trial. The dispute over the tax bills on the high-rise building has its own long history. Originally, the state agency rejected Trump's argument that the vacant stores had no value because he could not find any tenants to lease them. A hearing officer for the state agency rejected Trump's argument that vacant stores at the building had no value because he couldn't lease them. Did I just not read that again? But a staff member later wrote a report that Trump was entitled to the refund. The agency delayed acting on the case until Trump was out of the office and in June voted to reduce the assessment on the building's commercial property. Maybe I just stunned his ass. Hold on. Oh. Interesting. All right, well that was it. Oh wait, no, we had the one. Guns Coast to Coast, 16-minute video. I'm gonna watch that on my own time. Go check out Guns Coast to Coast new video. It's a long one. It's 16 minutes and 45 seconds, but I'm pretty sure it's good. SHTF Wildcard. That's interesting. All right. Well, thank you very much for stopping by, guys. Let's see. Gerald, you can add the cop as a joint defendant, then separate the case and leave the cop wide open. It's hard and expensive, but effective. Ooh. Interesting. All right, if this is your first time, we have descriptions down below, and in those descriptions below the video, there are links to all the causes I believe in and support. If you're looking for a cause to believe in and support, these are the ones that I recommend. The PH Association is pulmonary hypertension. That's because I suffer from pulmonary hypertension. That's high blood pressure of the right side of the heart caused by a pressure in my lungs. There is no cure. I will die from it most likely. They have medications that treat it, but it's such a rare disease that they're really not looking nobody else is looking for a cure other than the PH Association. So that's why I have them there. We have ProjectRecover.org. That's an organization that goes out and looks for lost service members and returns their remains to their families. We have the GOA, the Gun Owners of America, one of the organizations that I support with my money. I think it's probably time for me to re-up too. I don't check my email, so I probably wouldn't have gotten it. Yeah, I stunned them. Other than that, we have Rally Point Irish, my good friend Irish USMC vet, who is in chat right now, and maybe will be doing the morning muster again soon. That'll be fun. He has set up a GoFundMe. He's trying to set up a location in Tennessee where veterans can stay and live room and board free while learning new life skills like farming, blacksmithing, and gunsmithing. And I donate 50% of everything this channel makes to that cause because I would love to see that happen. And he's a good friend of mine. We used to give him a lot more when we were monetized, but we are no longer monetized. So the only money that goes to that now is any money that you guys decide to donate to this channel. And if you want to donate to this channel, there are ways to do that down in the descriptions below. There's a few links there. There's even one for getting $10 of Bitcoin if you sign up for a Coinbase wallet. So, I mean, I don't know if you want to do that or not, but it's there if you do. And I get, I think, a kickback on it. I don't know how much I get. Probably not much, but something. But yeah, that's the way to do it. Now, you don't have to spend any money to help out this channel. The best way to help out this channel is to like, comment, subscribe, ring the bells. The best one is to let everybody know about this chat that you think would like it. Other than that, all the different places to follow me. I have a secondary YouTube channel. You probably want to check that out. Poison Stinger 2. I am currently on D Live right now. And also, I have a Twitter. The Twitter I don't use a lot, but I do use it. I do have a Rumble account, which I don't use at all, and a Gab, which I haven't used in a long time. Other than that, the one I really want to promote that's not on this little thing below me is the Discord. We've gotten a few other people in there, so that's awesome. If you do go into my Discord, everybody's welcome as long as you come here from this chat. So I do ask, if you go to my Discord and sign up into that group, just let me know who you are here if you have a different name on your Discord. I had to kick somebody. Somebody joined the room, and I private messaged them. I actually messaged them in the chat the whole bit, and they never responded to me. And if you don't respond to me, you're not going to be there. I mean, it's a Discord for this channel, not for somebody to just be like, oh, I wonder what's going on over here. So if you like Facebook kind of style and Twitter kind of style, it's like a private group for that. I hope everybody that's in it is enjoying it. I know I love seeing everybody in there. OMG is getting better. He shares a lot of photos of all of his injuries, and he is healing up nicely, so that's a really good thing. But we're definitely going to be doing some more exclusive, only on Discord things, because I definitely want to promote it more, and we're getting more of a following over there, which is really nice, and I really like that. So cool. All right. That's all for me. I'm out of here until tomorrow. Make sure to keep that family close. Watch out for that government. Try to live as free as you can in today's society, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.